He is the president of the Philippine Olympic Committee, leading the charge for Team Pilipinas to bring home the medal or medals from the upcoming Paris Olympics. He is also the president of Phil Cycling and the mayor of Tagaytay City. With us now on Thought Leaders, please welcome Abraham Bambol Tolentino. Good to have you with us, Bambol, and congratulations are in order. You have been rewarded for your Asian Cycling Confederation Congress commitment.
Thank you, Kathy. Nice to be here, and it's a pleasure.
And that award was very well deserved, as it's already been maybe 16 years at last count that you've been so involved in cycling. And now it's come to this, a merit award coming from our colleagues in the region for the work that you've done specifically for the sport of cycling in your region.
Yes, finally we were recognized by the Asian Cycling Confederation. Uh, we put the Philippines in the map in cycling back again. Before, I think, maybe 50 years ago, we're number one in Asia. But it depleted, no? Especially the infrastructure. Before we have a velodrome here in the Philippines, the first velodrome in Asia, actually. So, nawala na yun. It's cannot be used anymore. It's the Amoranto Velodrome. So hopefully, I'm building one. Actually, I'm building
You're
one
building one in
in
Tagaytay.
Tagaytay. Yes.
And how is that coming along?
God willing, with budgets coming from the national, we might finish it by early next year. So it's another contribution to the cycling community.
As a sport. And
Yes.
you have, under your watch, done a lot of things. You've organized 4 Philippine registered International Cycling Union continental teams. And you've also created the country's only International Cycling Union BMX racing track in Tagaytay City, where you're mayor.
Yes.
And during your term, we were able to get a gold medal through BMX biker Daniel Calaug. He
Yes,
secured the
yes,
very
yeah.
first one during the Southeast Asian Games in 2019.
2019, and before that, Danny Kaluwag was the gold medalist in Asian Games in Korea, Incheon. The only medal we got, the only gold medal we got on that Incheon Asian Games. So with that, we built the BMX track, and it's the first covered BMX track in Southeast Asia. I don't know if there is, kung meron sa Asia, no? But in Southeast Asia, we're the first to have this covered BMX track.
And that's just one part of cycling as a sport. Meron pang mountain bike.
Correct.
So are you doing
So
something in that area as well?
that's part of the disciplines in cycling: the mountain bike, the BMX, and the road. So all in one, and of course the velodrome. So all those 4, well, nasa Tagaytay lahat yon. It can be done in Tagaytay.
At nasa Tagaytay na rin yung Olympic Village na tinatawag, ano? 4 of our medalists from Tokyo. The biggest haul by far in any Olympics that we've competed in. We've got Heidel in there and our 3 boxers.
Yeah.
You've housed them there as a form of reward.
Yes, and I'm now preparing the same incentives for Paris Olympics gold medalist.
Just gold. You have to clinch gold to have a house and lot in Tagaytay City.
We'll check if all medalists will be given.
But you have the space,
Yes,
and
yes,
it
we have the
really is
space.
a signaling to
Yes.
the athletes, the future athletes, and the ones that we have going to Paris, that this is the reward one gets for representing the country. And you're wearing that right now in your jacket. You've got the Philippine flag, Paris on the other side. How are we coming along in the process of preparation? Because it doesn't take months, doesn't take a year, but many, many years to prepare for that moment that an athlete wins and secures a medal.
Yes, Katya, no? It's really a multifaceted approach when it comes to preparation in Olympics. Imagine more than 3 years to prepare. More than 3 years. Right after the Olympics, you'll go to SEA Games, you'll go to Asian Games, you'll compete with World Championships. So you have to get all those rankings. There are different dynamics in rankings. There are rankings by the athletes, rankings for the country. Maraming different sports, different international federation, different ranking. So you have to gain all those rankings. So you have to compete and compete and compete. So mahaba talaga yung process just to qualify. Now, if you already qualified, that's a different story. No, we have to prepare. This is the first time we'll be having a training camp. Supposedly, during my term, I wanted it in Tokyo, okay. But there was a COVID. There was a bubble camp. Bubble. You'll be allowed to enter Tokyo 3 days before, so you cannot do those kind of advanced training or acclimatize the Tokyo, no, for the athletes. But now in Paris, naisip ko, but other countries nagagawa nila, no? Bakit di natin magawa Philippines? So, of course, we have to look the logistics. No? Kaya ba? So, doon papasok yung sponsorships, the business community. Uh, if they want to bet on our athletes, no? So,
And there's an if that you mentioned. So if there's a condition pa.
yes,
Well, what kind of response did you get? Because this is the first in history that we're having the Philippine team be able to practice and prepare a month before the Olympics and in the country where they're competing in. So meron na doon yung acclimatization, really getting used to each other and used to what they're competing on. So the chances of winning are higher. But as you said, it required a lot of preparation from the part of the athletes, but it also required the preparation and a lot of support coming from, and it's a multifaceted approach, government and the private sector. Did you get that support, that depth of support that you would have probably gotten in Tokyo had we not been in a COVID state?
from the business side, business sector side, yes, definitely 100%. We got those support. Hopefully, the government will follow, because this is a different story. Might be not in the budget or what, because there will be a training camp. This training camp, for the past 2 years, I've been scouting where and how at last year we secured one place in sponsored by Lamosel in Metz. That's 1 hour away from Paris. No, it's complete with all the facilities, hyperbarics, uh, press pressotherapy, physio, even dentals and all those ortho needed, no. So lahat po 'yun complete in one package, no? Including breakfast, lunch, dinner. I was supposed to bring a chef and a marketing, but it's hard, no. Sila pa yung pupunta sa grocery and market to buy. So we just ask for just provide the the lunch and dinner, no, the first the breakfast. So that's it, no. So this is the first time, and hopefully, like other countries, no, Hindi lang Philippines yung nakakita nung gano'n. When we were scouting, nasa likod namin yung Brazil. They're just waiting if we will not accept the offer or sign the contract, Brazil will replace us on that.
When you said you got the support of the business sector, did you feel that we got that support because we already won a gold medal? Nagkaroon ng parang
I
renewed
think
interest
I think
in
that's
getting in on
yeah.
the Olympics?
Kasi I think that's the main factor, no? After getting the first gold in Tokyo Olympics, all those stakeholders nagkaroon ng trust, no? So maybe unlike before, uh, ganon. So ngayong there's a reason. Meron ng proven, no? May proof na the POC is really working hard and nakita yung dedication, seriousness, everything. So maybe the business sector saw that, no, na yes, we will pitch in, we will support your athletes and your programs. So nagkaroon ng trust, especially that first ever gold medal from Tokyo after 100 years na wala tayong gold medal. So that's it. We're giving the template or the TOR, and all those interested now will contribute to the program of POC for the athletes, so that athletes will be inspired to and motivated to show and bring their best, no, for the country and for their own um, success stories.
And that gold was won by Heidelin Diaz for the amazing feat she did for weightlifting. You mentioned trust, and it's pretty important. It came at a time that she won gold, and you, as POC president, also had to fix some issues within the committee itself, racked by fragments, groups, if you will. Medyo, you also had to build that trust back to the business sector. What did you do to make sure that, you know, when the support was needed, you were able to show them, not just because we won a gold medal through Heidelin, that we were worth investing in something as the Paris Olympics, even with the fragmented setup at the Philippine Olympic Committee?
Of course, we have to show we're united, we're in one direction, we're showing good governance in our organization. No? That's important thing, the good governance. No? Well, all those politics inside sports. No? If we're talking of politics in sports, that's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner politics.
As Tagaytay City Mayor,
not only
and
that,
that's local
for
politics.
as a city mayor for the past 12 years, then before that, city councilor pa, then 9 years of congressman. So politics, ano na yan. So don't dare, parang ganon. So I can fix all those kind of. I'm not vulnerable, but I can manage those problems inside with regards to politics and sports. So with that, I can show to the business sector that everything will be in, not necessarily in good hands, but in a good and right and correct direction.
So do you think the committee will always be political? Yun nga yung description sa inyo in writing, no? That it is a private organization that is so politically motivated, if you will. Na nandoon na talaga.
Yeah, I
Yun na
think
talaga.
parang embedded na or what. So nandun na yun.
But then you also have to contend with the other.
You just
yes.
have to survive.
That's true, and also survive the governments that change along with the administrations.
Yes.
How much of a support did we get in this round for Paris Olympics when it came to the governments beyond the rewards? The senators have already pledged. Do we have their full support? Not just for, say, Paris, but maybe even talking about LA, Los Angeles in 2028.
Yes, the government, that's the mandate of PSC, the Philippine Sports Commission. So they have to really support. And in their planning, they have to include it every year, or you know that there will be 2028 LA Olympics. So you have to budget it beforehand. You have to put it in your note that by 2026 or 2027, you have to put that amount in the budget. Kung sino man ang nakaupo sa PSC, no? Not only that, we have a yearly international competitions. We have the SEA Games every 2 years. We have the Asian Games every 4 years. We have the IMAG, the Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games, every 4 years also. We have the Winter Games, Asian Winter Games. So that's it. It's a cycle. So dapat they're aware of all those calendars, no, sports calendars, activities. So the budget is very important.
At nasa batas na rin yun, hindi ba? Yung National Academy of Sports. It's become a law that now is in Tarlac on its first phase of honing the young athletes coming from the grassroots. You are one of the sponsors of
Yes,
that
yes.
bill that became into law. In what way do you think that would contribute to the constant, maybe upbringing, no, or at least nurturing of future Olympians? As the government rounds out its support, business sector coming in, and us raising the next generation of Olympians.
Correct. That's a different program by the government. No? That's the National Academy Sports for secondaries, just like University of the Philippines. Once you're enrolled, you have allowances. You have to show, and those accepted are those best of the best in different regions on the sports they're in, no? If it's from taekwondo or swimming or what sports, it should be best of the best on those region. That's why they were endorsed, and they have to pass the entrance, the exam, and everything. So wala pang nag-graduate, so definitely after 2 years, those who will graduate on that National Sports Academy of Sports, ano yan, pag-aagawan ng mga universities yan for their, whether it's UAP, NCAA, or what. So they will excel. Definitely, they will excel. And step by step, from that stage, they will be picked up by the National Sports Association for their time to be in the national team, no? And that they can show their talent na, then packet ng packet yan. SEA Games, Asian Games, IMAG, or whether winter or what, then up to Olympics. So talagang they'll be nurtured on that process.
So, how optimistic are you that we're building the right way? We're nurturing the right way and the right path now that we have the
Yeah.
academy?
We're late. Almost all countries meron ng ganyan. So we're late. So hopefully we can catch up with this National Academy of Sports. We should put more infrastructures, sports science, labs, and everything. It's a complete one compound. No? So that's it. If parang just like other countries, see, like Thailand, oh, they're so complete. That's why they're number one in Southeast Asia with regards to medal haul on SEA Games, Asian Games, and I think even Olympics.
But we've started to pull in the medals. The last Southeast Asian Games in 2019, we had the biggest haul. We actually were the best performers among the ASEAN
Yeah, yes,
neighbors.
yes,
So
yes.
we're getting there, and we have
Yes.
one gold. So
Especially
we're
basketball, Kati.
basketball.
Naagaw na natin back yung yung basketball on ASEAN and Asia,
Hmm.
in Asia.
Maybe it helps to have all those basketball courts, no, in the tiny alleyways here in the
But
city for practice.
sometimes don't forget the martial arts games, no, where we excel. No? Those games that we don't need height, or even the games we need height. We need height, like rowing. Like rowing, if you're competing uh, with European countries that's with a height of 6'5", 6'8", so just check how will you do the rowing thing. One row for that tayo baka tatlong row if we're just 5'10" or 5'8" or 5. So height matters too.
But not to be outdone, I see a rower here who's made it to the list. Si
Yes.
Joni Delgaco.
The
She's our
female,
first
yeah.
female
Female,
rowing Olympian.
yeah.
It's been a drought for at least 30, 60 years.
Yeah, but in
since
Tokyo we
had-
have one male.
Mhm.
One male.
for
so,
a female rower.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
For male, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, no? For male, last Tokyo, he was 6'2", but when we went to the competition venue, wow, 6'8", 6'7".
Well, let's go through the qualifiers here. We've mentioned si Joni. We also have pole vaulter EJ Obiena and gymnast Carlos Yulo, along with 3 Filipino Americans. For a change, we have Leia Finnegan, Levi Ruivivar, and Emma Malabuyo. For boxers, we've got Ira Villegas from Tacloban. I believe she's the newcomer. So she's a newbie. The Nesty Petesher, Hergy Bakyadan, Yumir Marshall, Carlo Paalam. We all know these names. Weightlifters, John Siniza, Eldrin Ando, Vanessa Sarno. Heidelin must have inspired one or two or all of them to come forward, as we're now talking about the 59 kg being the core of one of the weightlifters. And fencer Sam Katantan. She ended a 32-year drought in fencing, in
Yes,
Olympic fencing.
yes.
So we've got quite a crowd going to Paris.
Yes, we have 15 now. No? We 15, so I'm still expecting around 10, more or less 10.
So 25.
25.
So that's certainly going to be a record-breaking number if you do indeed get past 20. Kasi 20 yung pinadala natin sa Sydney in 2000.
Oh.
And
And
then
19 in
Tokyo. So you need at
Okay.
least 21 athletes to break the record.
I need 25. You have to be positive.
You can.
I need
Where are you
25.
going to get the 10?
Well, we have 15, Kathy, no?
Okay.
So let's count skateboarding one, judo one,
Si
golf.
Kiyomi Watanabe.
Yes,
She's from
yes,
the Tokyo Olympics.
Yes.
May experience na.
Golf, Bianca is in,
Miguel Tabuena.
sort of, and
Doti Ardina.
yes. So let's be conservative. 2 na lang or 2. So
Swimming
that's
lang,
4.
kuha mo na yung dalawa.
That's 2.
By universality.
Yes, that's 2. Jarrod and Kyla. That's 7. Then athletics, that's minimum 4.
That would be Lauren Hoffman, Chan Kabang.
Yes.
Dalawa lang yun.
Brown. Ubas. 4. Meron pa isa. I don't know if Busong will come in. So that's 10. That's 10. So God willing, I'm still positive that we can get at least 10. Baka meron pang reallocation, call it reallocation. Sometimes if there's no ASEAN from the continent Asia, kulang. Sometimes they give allocation. Sino yung masipag dito or what, sino yung nagbibigyan. So sometimes. No?
But in terms of size and scope, yung bilang natin, no, as a sporting event, it seems that the Philippine teams that are the biggest in number would be in boxing and weightlifting. And the second would be, actually, it's boxing and gymnastics, and then weightlifting comes next.
But there might be a surprise from athletics.
4 or 5, as you
4 or
mentioned
5.
earlier.
So 4, 5, 6. EJ is nandun na si EJ, no? So additional 4 or 5. So that will be 6 for athletics. It should have been 9. There was a 4 relay na injured. So hindi sila nakalaro sa Bahamas. So they were out. If only they played in Bahamas, I'm sure they qualified.
Could we therefore say na dito natin makikita, dito sa mga biggest delegations, that the possibility is highest that they would win medals, if not the gold or golds?
Yes, for sure. With these preparations, the training camps, etc., no, the inspiration, everything, no, the motivation, everything. Aside from the possible uh, podium finishers, there might defy some expectations. We're not sure, but they might defy expectations.
They could. And when we talk boxing, yun nga yung top medal producing sport, no? From the Tokyo Olympics in 2000, we had Nesty, Petesio and Carlo Paalam winning silver, and Ymir Marshall winning the bronze.
Yes.
Now that they've got the experience, they've got the
Yes,
medal,
yes,
what are the chances that they might
yes,
just turn in the gold
yes.
or golds?
That's my my expectations, no? Boxing and gymnastics, to tell you frankly. Nandun talaga. Those boxers are experienced enough. Coming from Tokyo, World Championships, Ymir coming from pro, going back to amateur, Nesty from both Nesty and Carlo coming from silver. One, di ba? So with that experiences, so that's it. Aside from gymnastics, where Yulo won several golds in Asian Championship, Worlds, etc.
Balikan ko lang yung boxing because I read a couple of years back si Coach Marcos Manalo. He is the mental performance coach that was hired by the Association of Boxing Alliances in the Philippines. He told South China Morning Post back in August 2021, when asked if the victories in Tokyo can be replicated in the future, ito yung nasabi niya. It's going to be hard because the boxers we have now, they're not getting any younger, except for Carlo Paalam. He has a lot of years left in his bout from Tokyo. What do you make of his statement? That was from 3 years back, but what do you make of it today from what we know?
Maybe on other boxers, but for Ymir personally, coming from pro, and talagang gusto niyang bumawi. Talagang gusto niyang ipakita na even ganun yung age niya. Definitely. Not the last train, not the last boat, but I think regardless of the age, no, kay Ymir. Then Nesty, Carlo, it's the same. They're in their peak. They're in their peak. And siguro, sa age then, it's her G. Maybe it's her last call for the bout, last call for the boat, last call for the train. So put in a qualify. No? It's hard to adjust to coming from boxing. She went to wushu, Bomina kickboxing, then Bomina. Then we convince her to be in boxing again.
That's the Vietnamese.
Yes, the
boxing.
the Vietnamese national sports.
It also helps when there's a lot of support coming from the team. Ito nga, no, may mental performance coach ka, merong psychotherapist, nutritionist. That was what we did in Tokyo. For our boxers, we had one coach each for all four. In Rio, we sent two athletes, but they only had one coach. So ang laki ng difference. Would we be doing the same, making sure that they're supported by a team who would look after them and look at each one of them in the competitions
That's the
in Paris?
yeah, that's the perfect template. Hindi, especially on those elite athletes. Like Heidelin, she has two coaches, nutritionist, physio. It's in one team. So now in Paris, talagang siniguro ko na if you need that team, okay, national coach, personal coach, nutritionist, physiologist, PT. Kung yung anong request nila, we will provide. Even not allowed on the games, but we will allow, the PUC will allow on the training camp. That's a big big help. Uh, as far as I've been asking them, if you want to be with his girlfriend or his mother or what, as long as kung makakatulong, if it will help, why not? You ask that kayo mag-decide and say sports.
So all 15 of them asked for that team, a 5-man team. Kasama si nutritionist,
Not all.
coach, not all.
Not all. Some are in one team, one shot, one group. But some are with the personalized coach and personalized masseurs, nutritionist. That's it. They need it. Other countries are doing it. Bakit di natin magawa? Di ba? Di natin magawa.
So gymnastics, you made a mention of Yulo. He did compete in Paris, but he is competing now in Paris without the benefit of his Japanese coach na nakatrabaho niya for 10 years. They parted ways this year. So what support are we providing Carlos Yulo in the way of him representing the flag and having a Philippine team back him up in Paris?
We gave him two coaches as he requested. So it's a new coach. But still, we gave, instead of one, come on. If you need three coaches, why not? Four, why not? If it will help, you know. So that's also, Kathy, that's the answer on the perennial critics na why is it that officials is always more in numbers than the athletes? But mas marami pang opisyal sa delegates. That's the answer. Hindi naman pwedeng elite athletes, isa lang kasamang doktor. That happens before. When we first joined, participated in the Olympics, 1924, it's David Nepomuceno with one doctor, two delegates only. And they arrived in Paris after 33 days of travel. So they arrived a week before. Wala nang practice, pagod, etc. He was number 1 in Asia during that time. No? So dapat makakamedal siya. So after his game, he was 4th. Still, nakuha pa niya maging 4th. No? So ngayon, teka, 1 month before, nandun na tayo. Diba? With training camp, with all those supports, team supports, the doctors, the PTs, the coaches, whether it's national or personal coach.
So we can therefore say na record-breaking din ang number ng ating team supports. Papuntang Paris, papuntang camp, training camp.
It's needed. It's needed. It's really needed. So whether it's correct, it's a breaking record then for the officials, but it's needed.
Now, Yulo is going to be flanked by 3 ladies and Phil-Americans for a change na gymnasts, sina Finnegan, Rivivar, and Malabuyo. So it's skating milestones on all fronts, from number, gender, age, ethnicities. It's the first time in Philippine history that we're sending off Phil-Ams. What kind of a benefit does that have for somebody who's representing the country, but trained overseas. Like for instance, Finnegan from an American university, along with um, Rivivar.
I think maybe it's high time. It's high time. We're also lucky that they want to represent our country, no? Not only the gymnasts. Remember, may nauna si Kyla swimming. Kyla was a member of the Canadian Olympic team. She played in Tokyo, winning silver. Then she decided to represent Philippines. But it's a long process, no? So we wrote the Canadian Olympic Committee to let her go. We wrote IOC to waive the residency requirement of 3 years instead of 3 years, 1 year, and it was all approved. So it's the other way around, no? So it's high time to get, for me, it's high time to get all those PhilAms or what. No?
So tayo mismo ang lumapit sa kanila or meron sa kanilang lumapit sa atin to want to
It's
fly the
both,
flag.
both
It's both
ways.
ways.
Both ways. Why not? Look at France. All those superstars, football players, are they legit French? Came from African countries, right? Even some NBA players, even some NBA superstars, even Canadian Raptors. They're not Canadians, di ba? So maybe it's high time. Bakit sila lang kayang gumawa ng ganun? So you have to. The Middle East countries, they don't have legit, aside from Saudi, I think they have runners, but some countries in the Middle East, they have to import and do that, naturalize those no, import athletes. So why not? It's high time. Ito, ano pa, with the Filipino blood roots, di ba? They really feel their grandparents are all Filipinos. Parents are Filipinos, right?
And you've had a moment with Rivivar. His dad is a Hollywood actor, si Anthony
Yeah.
Rivivar. And then she came over here to visit
Oh.
the agency just before the Olympics. What kind of interaction did you have with her, and maybe some takeaways
Well,
from such a very young qualifier?
Anthony, his parents are Filipino, right? So may roots pa rin, no? So may passion pa rin siya. That's why he's supporting Levi, yeah, Levi Levy, on that sports, no. So well, he's just happy that his daughter qualified, no. Yun nga sabi ko, it's very tight in US and Canada to be qualified athletes for Olympics. So not go to Philippines, but of course they have Filipino roots, no, Filipino blood. So it's a payback. They want to give honor to their motherland, of their grandparents or parents. It's great.
Napunta naman tayo sa weightlifters. Ito yung second biggest contingent, no? And it's all homegrown. So far, we have sina Elrin Ando, Vanessa Sarno, and John Siniza. He's the lone gentleman competing this year. Heidelin Diaz did not make it. But then, much has to be said about the inspiration that she's given to
Yes.
this team to probably do gold,
Yes.
or at least secure gold medals in Paris.
You know, Heidelin's, we still have to give credit to Heidelin, of course, as the first gold medal in the Olympics. No, nahirapan lang siya because his weight category was removed, so she went higher, 59. And all those golds in 55 and 59 and 62, andun lahat. So lahat ng kalaban niya. Besides, si Ando, talagang 59. Dun siya lumalaban sa 59. So, mahirap talaga mag-adjust, no? It's a torture for your body and everything, muscles. So, but, that's the inspiration pa rin. No? Si Heidelin pa rin. No? Siya pa rin yung nagbigay ng first gold. So, she will be there in Paris. No? She's invited by the federation ng weightlifting as a guest or what.
She's very inspiring because Olympics.com interviewed her and she said her journey started in Beijing pa in 2008. That was her first chance when she was chosen as a wild card. And then she went to London in 2012,
Then Rio.
failed, and then Rio, where she got her silver before Tokyo, where she won gold. Dito talaga pinapakita na it takes time to develop an athlete, a winning Olympian. Sabi nga rin ni former POC President Ricky Vargas, it doesn't take a day or a month, a
Yes.
year, but decades.
Yes.
How do we ensure that this is continuous? Na our one gold medal is just not a one-off,
It
but it's
started
going to
in
be
a
continuous.
grassroots program all the way up, just like yung National Academy Sports, baka dun makakuha na. No? It's really a long shot. No? So, we have to maintain all the programs ng Sports Association, Philippine Olympic Committee. You have to sustain everything, the sponsors, the government funding, the good governance. Diba? Lahat yun, affected ang ano doon. Affected ang athletes doon kung magulo yung
Correct.
yung
Yun nga,
sports.
yung mindset,
Diba?
because
Gulo-gulo nyo.
you'd want a winning mindset kahit
Diba?
na natatalo si athlete, go lang, continue mo lang. Pero that winning mindset, how are you able to give advice then to the aspiring Olympians? Sabihin natin yun nandun sa Tarlac ngayon, on how to have that winning mindset, never to give up.
Yeah, never give up. At saka, after, kaya ako napunta dun sa giving incentives. During my term, first time din nagbigay ng POC ng incentives for SEA Games, Asian Games, for golds. Of course, Olympics. So after everything, what will the post Olympic or post SEA Games? So incentive wise, may template na tayo. But for the bigger picture, like house and lots and everything, it's a personal. It's your personal
May space
incentive.
pa po sa Tagaytay. Kahit
Marami
na
pa.
manalo tayo na
Marami pa.
napakaraming medalya.
Marami pang developers na willing. Like what Heidelin received. No? Marami nagpa-sponsor ng mga developers for their condos, flats, and small businesses. No? Even the boxers. No? So that's it. So may post no? Kailangan may post So after that, ano bang life nila? Di ba? So it's part of sharing too. No? Not only a one-day event na, oh, I won gold. So after that, we have to give something too, no, sa pinaghirapan nila.
And also continuity coming from yourself as president of the POC and as Tagaytay City Mayor. You're coming up for an election season and your own elections. This is your final year as POC president. Tatakbo po ba kayo ulit as POC president and as Tagaytay City Mayor?
Both.
Both,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, and you have the ASEAN Games pa in 2025.
Our term in POC is every Olympic year. There's election. Definitely, I will still go for it. And as City Mayor of Tagaytay.
You have your own races to contend with. I wish you well to your journey in Paris. Thank you so much. And congratulations for a job well done, collating all our athletes together.
Thank you.
Thank you,
With
Bambol.
all your help. Thank you.
Well, catch us again next Thursday at 9 p.m. Philippine Standard Time on One News. You can also check out the long conversation on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I'm Kathy Yang, and this is Thought Leaders.